What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Cage Review, and this is going to be my review for Black Adam. I'm finally doing the more contemporary DC and Marvel movies, catching up on all my comic book inspired movies. And so I believe this was 2022, I think. 2022? I don't remember exactly when this came out. So yeah, I just looked it up, October 21st, 2022. So I did not get to see this until like the spring of 23. And it was one of those movies that had been built up for me because I'm a big DC guy. I'm a huge DC Comics fan. And, the DCEU has been very back and forth. It's had some very good movies and some horrible movies. So for this one, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, I'm a big fan of his wrestling career and his acting career as an action star, not necessarily as an actor per se. Um, I've been keeping an eye on him building this movie up, and I thought he did a very good job. So when he said this was going to change the hierarchy of the DC universe, I was kind of hoping that that's actually what would happen. Well, let's get into this. So directed by Jean-Michel Colette Serra, Viola Davis comes back as Amanda Waller, of course. You have Dwayne Johnson as Teth Adam, Black Adam. And you have Pierce Brosnan coming in as Dr. Fate, and I love Dr. Fate in the comics. Uh, Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, Sarah Shahi as Isis. You have Noah Centineo as Adam Smasher, and Quintessa Swindell as Cyclone. And then you have Marwan Kenzari as Sabak. So, first of all, I hated the fact, I don't care what the reasoning was, that they did not attach Black Adam in some way to Captain Marvel, Shazam. I hated that. Did not like it. And so that right off the bat was kind of off putting with me. Um, the movie itself was overpacked with characters. When you introduced Black Adam, it would have been nice if you would have tied him to Captain Marvel. Instead, they had him doing his solo movie, coming uh, back to consciousness centuries later, uh, kind of rehashing the fish out of water story, and not doing it as well as other movies have. Unfortunately, because it was so packed with characters, you didn't get any character development for the JSA either. I mean, you really didn't get anything. You got a couple of bits of dialogue, especially from Cyclone when she's talking about, how she was kind of made, and that's it. And you really get nothing about Hawkman. All you get is Amanda Waller recruiting uh, Hawkman, Cyclone, Doctor Fate, and Atom Smasher to take in Black Adam, and of course that doesn't work. Black Adam in the comics and in this movie are just super OP, and he actually feels so OP that there's not much to him. He's very one note. I've heard people describe his character in here kind of like the Terminator in Terminator 2. Very stoic, just a badass killing machine, and that's essentially what it was. As far as the action sequences, stellar, absolutely stellar. I loved some of the sequences in here. CGI, like, it's hard for me to notice when CGI is like really, really bad. I don't know. I don't know what that is about me, but like it's just hard for me to notice. Like I can watch a movie and people will be like, "Oh my god, did you notice that CGI?" And I'll be like, "No, I didn't." Um, so I thought the movie looked fine. I did. Um, as far as story goes, I think that there were a couple of things that they were trying to pull off as big surprises that were actually very predictable. There's a story of this kid at the beginning of the movie that you think is Black Adam, and I mean you can kind of see that it's not right from the very first scene. So I didn't really understand that. Um, because they were almost dead giving away that it was definitely not Black Adam, this kid, that everybody thinks, because he was like this natural leader trying to get these people to stand up against these tyrants that were enslaving them. And then, of course, you have one of the biggest issues of this movie, which is the villain. Uh, I think a lot of people at this point complain when there's a one-note villain or something that just doesn't matter or pops up out of nowhere. And this villain was kind of all three. He was pointless. He just kind of pops up at the end, and you're like, where the hell did this dude come from? And it was another CGI battle that was just to the extreme. So nobody gave a shit about the villain, I'm sure. Like, I don't see how you could. It was just really pointless. I had some fun with Black Adam going around just tearing people apart. Uh, the initial sequence when he gets resurrected is pretty stellar. Like it was kind of like a Mortal Kombat fatality sequence without the edge. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, so you got him electrocuting guys like Raiden. You got one guy he throws and drops his arm that's now detached. I mean, stuff like that. But they did it, of course, in the PG fashion. So that's another thing. I think this movie could have been rated R. I mean, you're dealing with an anti-hero. You're dealing with somebody with the powers of Black Adam. I think you should push the envelope, and they definitely did not do that. So it sucks because I love a good action movie. I love watching stuff that I've never seen on screen before, and they had plenty of that in here. But when you're talking about the writing, the cohesion of the story, trying to make sense out of characters and character building, and just having a decent villain, you drop the ball on pretty much all of that. But they had some very impressive action sequences, and this movie was packed with a lot of action. But that's not enough for me to make this movie good. And that's unfortunate because I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to movies. I really am. And so for me to say that is kind of disappointing because, like I said, this movie had been built up not just by, the marketing campaign, but also just because I was wanting to see it. And that fell flat. So that's just kind of where it is for me. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 because I honestly don't think it deserves much more than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz, Kaged Nation, out.